The South China Sea boils. It is a cauldron of ancient claims and modern ambitions. Nerves are raw. The year 2025 has already witnessed a hardening of stances. The Philippines, long caught in a delicate dance, has made a bold move. A line appears to have been drawn. This line is not on any map. It exists in the tense diplomatic air. It is an ultimatum, a challenge issued to the regional giant, China. The implications ripple outwards, far beyond the disputed shoals and reefs. This could be a turning point, or it could be a prelude to deeper crisis. The stakes are incredibly high. The ultimatum, delivered by Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., is audacious. It is a public declaration. It demands a change in Chinese behavior. This is not quiet diplomacy. This is a megaphone announcement on the world stage. The potential consequences are immense. If China accedes, it signals a shift, a possible de-escalation. If China refuses or escalates, the path darkens, the risk of confrontation grows. Small nations rarely issue such challenges to great powers without careful thought, or perhaps without a sense of growing desperation. The region holds its breath. The waters of the South China Sea are vital. They are arteries of global trade. They are rich in resources. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. chose his moment carefully. He spoke during an airport runway inauguration in Cebu. His words, however, were aimed squarely at Beijing. The core of his proposal was startling. The Philippines offered to remove the US-made Typhoon missile system. This system had only recently arrived, delivered in April 2024. It was a significant upgrade to Philippine defense capabilities. Its presence was a clear signal. Its potential removal, therefore, was a significant bargaining chip. But this offer came with stringent conditions. It was not a unilateral concession. China, Marcos Jr. declared, must fundamentally alter its conduct. The list of demands was explicit. Stop claiming our territory, he stated. Stop harassing our fishermen and let them have a living. Stop ramming our boats. Stop water cannoning our people. Stop firing lasers at us. Finally, he demanded China stop your aggressive and coercive behavior. The message was unambiguous. The Philippines sought a complete cessation of what it views as Chinese intimidation. The Typhoon missile system itself is a potent symbol. It is capable of firing powerful projectiles. The Standard Missile 6, the Tomahawk land attack cruise missile, its range covers significant portions of the South China Sea. It can even reach the Taiwan Strait. China had repeatedly voiced its objections to the Typhoon's deployment. Beijing demanded its removal almost as soon as it arrived. The ultimatum did not emerge from a vacuum. It was the culmination of escalating frustrations. It was built upon a foundation of persistent diplomatic action. For months, indeed years, Philippine officials have lodged numerous diplomatic protests. These protests detailed China's incursions into Philippine-claimed waters. They highlighted aggressive maneuvers by Chinese vessels. Each protest was a mark of growing impatience, a testament to Manila's refusal to silently accept Beijing's pressure. The diplomatic channels were busy, yet the desired change in Chinese behavior remained elusive. This fueled a growing sense of resolve. Philippine officials have been increasingly forthright. They have emphasized their nation's readiness to defend its sovereignty. These are not empty words, they reflect a hardening national mood. The constant pressure from China has, paradoxically, stiffened Filipino resolve. The narrative is one of a nation standing up for its rights, for its territorial integrity, for the livelihoods of its people. This resolve is palpable. It is heard in the speeches of its leaders. It is seen in the actions of its maritime forces. Manila's stance is not solely reliant on words, it is increasingly backed by a show of military muscle. Recent activities are clearly intended as a message primarily directed at Beijing. The Philippines is demonstrating its commitment to modernizing its defenses. It's also showing its willingness to operate in contested areas. This is a calculated display. It aims to bolster deterrence. It seeks to reassure its own population, and it signals to allies that the Philippines is a serious partner in regional security. The message is one of growing capability and resolve. Military drills in the West Philippine Sea have become more frequent. They are also more sophisticated. Joint exercises with the United States, like the annual Balikatan, are crucial. These exercises enhance interoperability. They showcase alliance strength. They provide valuable training for Filipino forces. Beyond joint drills, the Philippine Navy has increased its deployments. Coast Guard patrols are more assertive. They are actively monitoring Philippine-claimed waters. They are documenting incursions. Section 5. The Dragon's Gaze, Beijing's calculated silence and subtle moves. Beijing's initial public reaction to President Marcos Jr.'s Typhoon missile offer was notably muted. As of February 2025, an official, comprehensive response to the specific conditions laid out by Marcos was not immediately forthcoming. This silence can be interpreted in several ways. It could be a sign that Beijing is carefully weighing its options. It might be an attempt to downplay the significance of the Philippine ultimatum, or it could be the quiet before a more assertive Chinese countermove. In high-stakes diplomacy, silence itself is often a message. A calculated pause can be a tool of power. However, China's position on the Typhoon missile system itself has been consistently clear. Beijing has demanded its removal ever since its delivery to the Philippines in April 2024. Chinese officials view the Typhoon as a direct threat. They see it as an extension of American military reach into a sensitive region. The PRC also swiftly condemned the Philippine military's announcement. The plan to use the Typhoon system during unilateral drills in mid-February 2025 drew sharp criticism. This condemnation underscores Beijing's unwavering opposition to advanced US weaponry on its periphery. It highlights the deep strategic mistrust that pervades the relationship. Section 6 echoes of power, China's broader regional posturing. China's actions in the South China Sea are not isolated incidents. They are part of a much broader pattern of regional power projection. Beijing is asserting its influence across multiple domains. Its military modernization continues at a rapid pace. Its economic leverage is substantial. Its diplomatic outreach is global. The specific tensions with the Philippines must be understood within this larger context. China is signaling its arrival as a dominant regional and indeed global power. It is challenging the existing order. It is seeking to reshape norms and institutions to better reflect its interests. A significant recent development was the passage of a PLA destroyer through the Basilan Strait. This occurred for the first time. The Basilan Strait is a narrow waterway. It lies between the Philippine islands of Mindanao and Basilan. This transit, while perhaps permissible under international law, was highly symbolic. It demonstrated the PLA Navy's growing reach. Section 7. Whispers of war, gauging the risk of escalation. The persistent friction in the South China Sea naturally raises a grave question. Is conflict coming? The rhetoric is sharp. The military activities are assertive. The ultimatums are bold. These are all ingredients that historically have sometimes led to open confrontation. While full-scale war remains unlikely in the immediate term, the risk of accidental escalation is undeniably real. A miscalculation by a ship captain, an overly aggressive maneuver by a pilot, a local incident spiraling out of control, these are plausible scenarios. The margin for error is shrinking. Southeast Asian countries, including the Philippines, find themselves in a precarious position. They are attempting a delicate balancing act. They seek to maintain good relations with both the United States and China. These two giants are locked in a strategic competition. Navigating this rivalry is a profound challenge. Nations in the region value their economic ties with China. China is a massive market. It is a key source of investment. At the same time, they look to the United States for security assurances. They rely on the US presence to maintain a balance of power. This balancing act is becoming increasingly difficult. Section 8. Expert perspectives, deciphering the high-stakes game. Security experts and regional analysts are closely scrutinizing the Philippines' bold ultimatum. Their interpretations vary. Many view President Marcos Jr.'s offer regarding the Typhoon missile system as primarily a rhetorical challenge. They see it less as a genuine opening for negotiation, more as a tactic to highlight China's own aggressive actions. Sherwin Ona, a respected analyst, characterized the offer as a calculated move. He believes it is designed to call out Beijing's perceived double standards, to expose the inconsistency in China complaining about defensive systems while deploying its own offensive capabilities. Other experts emphasize the symbolic nature of the ultimatum. Matteo Piacentini, for instance, suggests the offer reinforces the Philippines' determined stance. It is a way of publicly drawing a line. It signals that Manila will not passively accept the status quo. It is a declaration of agency. However, the practical prospects of China accepting such a proposal are widely seen as slim. Mohammed Faisal bin Abdul Rahman, another analyst, stated bluntly, he believes it is politically implausible for China to agree to the conditions laid out by Marcos Jr. Such an acceptance would be seen as a major concession, a loss of face for Beijing.